Alright, hey everybody. I'm going to do a quick thing on how I would do the balloon dialogue bubbles for a comic book. One of the things I do is I like to create templates for anything that I'm going to do that's repetitive. So for my comics, I would assume that all the pages are going to be the same, right? So I would have probably all of these comic book bubbles off to the side that I could just grab and alter and move around. One of the things I did was I did a search for some vector balloon bubbles, and I just copied them and placed them here, although it's easy enough to make on your own for whatever you want to do. You can add the shapes, break the shapes, whatever. I also downloaded a bunch of fonts from Blambot, which is like this, and I'm going to use this free one called Back Issues from Blambot. There's a link on the page for you to download it. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab one of these bubbles and I clone it so that I can still have the other ones there. Oops, I need to create a new layer for the text. So I just leave the word bubbles on its own layer, and I guess let me clean this up a little bit. I'm going to create a new layer called panels. I'm going to grab all the panels and I'm going to move them to that layer, and then I'm going to move it under text. So I can take this, cut it, and paste it, and now it's on top. And whether or not you keep inside the frame is up to you. I trust you to use your own judgment. But I'm going to flip this so that it looks like it's coming from this guy. And I don't have a story yet, because remember the last time I showed this, I just grabbed a bunch of images just to show you I can just drop them in. So that's what I did. I just dropped these images into a comic, and I'm going to just type in this comic. And the nice thing about Zara is that it'll put the text inside the shape for you. So I'm going to click on the text tool and just type on top. It says fixed inside, so I'm just gonna auto fit inside or fixed inside. I'm gonna put fixed inside. So you see this little red line? It's gonna have that border, that gap in between the balloon. So I'm just gonna type something generic. I'm gonna do it all caps. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. And you see it doesn't fit. It's too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize the balloon. Well, wait. First, let me change the font also to make it go to Back Issues. Click on the font. Scroll down to just type BA, and that gives me Back Issues. Oops. Escape. BA, Back Issues. Okay, so the text is 12 point. I honestly don't, it's up to you what size you want to make your text, as long as it's legible for everybody. And you can look at the proportion of the whole page to see. Now that might be large. So I'm going to grab it and make it 10 point. And it fits, but that's too easy. Let's undo that and make it 12 point. The nice thing about Zara is that I can just grab the shape right here, right here under this text layer. I'm just grab the shape, and if I stretch the shape out, it'll fit the text inside. And then all I need to do is choose all the text and make it centered, and then choose the shape, and then I can resize it until it fits. I can squeeze it down this way. Oops, I lost dog. And you can stretch it back out. No. Let's stretch it down. There. And that's it. That's how I would do the text. You know, I could also move it around too. I don't want to cover up the leg part of the mermaid, and I don't want to cover up her hair. So what if I try moving him around in this frame? That gives me more room. See? That's pretty much it. So, you know, you can just take your text, clone it, and you know, maybe she's saying something. And I'm holding down the control key, so I specifically pick the shape, and I flip that. Oops. That's not going to work. I don't want to flip the text here, I just want to flip the shape. There. And maybe, oops, maybe I squeeze the shape of this down. So I'm altering the shape, not the text itself. And that's it, pretty much. I figure InDesign and maybe Illustrator probably have similar features where it'll change shape and repel for you, repel the text so it doesn't touch the outside of the frame. But that's about as easy as I can make it for you guys. You just grab a balloon and oops. Oh, these are on the layer below. That's why. Got to bring it to the layer above. So now I can make him say something. And the thing to note is when you're doing this, try not to get too close to the edge of the paper, because you don't want your words to be outside of the edge of the paper. You don't want it to even be too close where it's cut off. You might want to do full bleeds with your art, but I would try to keep the dialogue inside the frame. And try to position your text where something is pretty plain and not happening artistically in the frame, like this is all just background stuff. So, you know, I would just do that, clone, flip, and just type in whatever there needs to be. Now, one thing I'm going to do is uncheck scale line widths, because I want the line width of the shape of the word balloon to always be the same. So that I don't know where to uncheck that in Illustrator, but that way if I stretch out make it real big, it's still the same thinness of the layer. But you don't want to have a balloon that big with that much text. You know, you want to have little blurbs of stuff happening. And let me bring this to the front. There. You might have to say something down here like the water was really cold or whatever. But I leave it up to you to figure out how you're going to do this. This is just how I would do this, taking advantage of the repelling feature. I don't know what it's called in InDesign, but the reason I use Zara is that I'm only using one program. I don't have to switch between Illustrator, InDesign, or whatever. But yeah, that's really about it. I will see you all tomorrow. I would like for you to continue working on your piece. You should all be pretty close to finishing your color, and hopefully you did the color, and if you started in on the dialogue, done the dialogue on a separate layer or as separate objects so that you can manipulate them later. Okay, I hope that's enough. I included a link to Blambot. I don't know if I think I showed it. The Blambot Back Issues font. Go ahead and grab that for your project, or make your own font if you have the time. I put up some links for websites that will take your handwritten font and turn it into an OTF file or a TTF file, something that you can use and just type. So when you type, it's your own handwriting. Some of them, they'll do that for free, but it's time consuming. But I would recommend it if you're going to do a lot of this stuff. The videos above are showing Scott Adams, how he created his font, or at least he uses his own handwriting font for his comic, as well as how quickly he colors it. His figures are super simple, and he can just use the paint bucket tool and just, fill the shapes with color because they're all sealed. They're not open. Yeah, that's about it. I think we should be wrapping up this project pretty soon, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay? It won't be sculpture, although that will be an option. Okay? I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good night.